there's a little secret down at the White Eagle Lodge which they don't like to talk about. Maybe they're not very aware of it. But there is a problem with the White Eagle teaching. Theological students of the Bible say that the writer of the Revelation was a hardcore Jewish conservative. I want to say fanatic, but we'll say conservative. He wasn't like the hippy, freedom-loving, turn the other cheek, sandal-wearing, lovey-dovey Jesus version that the White Eagle Lodge presents. So there's a conflict between the White Eagle style and the content, because the real writer of the Gospel of the Revelation was a hardcore Jew, very conservative, not liberal-minded and wishy-washy. But when you look at the White Eagle teaching, we find that, it's all soft and gentle, acceptance, passive, forgiving. It's the other kind of Christianity. That was not John's style of Christianity. So if Jonh had met Paul, for instance, who thought that circumcision and being orthodox and obeying the strict rules was not important. Instead, he thought the spirit of the law, not the letter of the law, was important. But Jonh wasn't like that. And you can see this, for instance, in Jesus himself. When Jesus criticized the Pharisees and Sadducees, if you look again at those verses in the Gospels, when he criticizes them, it's always about they're not Jewish enough. He wants them to get hardcore. He says, well, outwardly you observe the laws, but you're not observing them enough. You've got to do it harder, more sincere, more fanatical. Really obey the laws, not just say them and give a public demonstration. No. It has to get more serious, more fanatic. So we can see why Jonh would have been close to Jesus's heart. The real Jesus and Jonh had, the same personality, hardcore Jew. And so it is, we find with the principles of the White Eagle Lodge, that's last principle. Is it number 7? Yes, 7. It talks about the physical body being immortalized This is very Jewish. Although Judaism has conflicting views and there's slightly different versions, so it's not a definitely settled matter. But generally, in Judaism, there's no soul. There's only a physical body. And that's why they emphasize you get your reward and punishment here in this life, not in an afterlife. Because if there's no soul, then you can't go to heaven or hell. Punishment and reward have to be here in this life. Hence why Job was tested here in this world. Now, when Jesus was resurrected, that was his physical body. And most Christians don't think about this much, but Jesus was a physical man for about 6 weeks after the resurrection. So he was eating food, wearing clothes, sitting on chairs, drinking water, he was, shaking hands. He was physical body. The ascension, which is some kind of process of spiritualization, that didn't occur until about 6 weeks, 40 days after the physical resurrection. Most Christians don't think about that much. They just have a vague picture in their mind that Jesus came out of the tomb and was somehow shimmering or shining, and then his body went up into the clouds. No. That was 6 weeks later. The resurrection is pure physical. That's a very Jewish idea, that at the end of the world, when the Messiah comes, the Jewish Messiah, all the bones of dead people, of the chosen few, however, not the Goyim, not us, only the chosen few, their bones will rise up out of the ground and they will somehow become living bodies again. Strange idea, isn't it? It's weird. But actually it's there in the White Eagle principles, the 7th principle, that we have to somehow spiritualize the physical body so we become physically immortal. Well, that's really very Jewish and a little weird, but we can understand why when we realise that Jonh, the real historical Jonh, as distinct from the popular Hollywood version, the modern evangelical persona, the real Jonh was a hardcore Jewish conservative. And for him, resurrection was purely physical. And so we find that there in the White Eagle teaching, although it's something that's avoided, not mentioned at the White Eagle Lodge, because their style is to present Jesus as a lovey-dovey, forgiving, compassionate hippy. So that style, that image of Jesus does not fit with the real Jonh, the writer of Revelation. It's a contradiction which they would find difficult to explain.